Poor beggar Jack unexpectedly married Fairy Anne. His first act was to pull out a silver coin, hoping the fairy would use her magic to make him rich. With a casual flick of her finger, the fairy transformed his silver coin into a gold ingot. But Jack remained unsatisfied, complaining their house was far too small. Hearing this, the fairy unleashed her magic once more, transforming the husband's shack into a luxurious courtyard. Even the ragged hemp garments worn by the husband and mother-in-law were transformed into silk robes. The money-grubbing mother and son were overjoyed at the sight, never imagining they'd have the fortune to marry a heavenly fairy. He immediately vowed to love and for all eternity, seeing his devotion, and believed him. To help her husband pass the imperial examinations and become a top scholar, she specifically sought out the star of literature to pull some strings. With Anne's help, her illiterate husband actually became the top scholar. But on the very day he passed the exam, he brought home another woman named Lily. He expected Anne to throw a fit, but instead, she calmly agreed, even offering to give up the main hall and move to the side room. Seeing this, Jack grew even more arrogant. That night, he bragged to Lily, claiming Anne adored him beyond measure. He boasted that if he asked for her heart, she'd willingly give it. Little did he know Anne's indulgence was merely treating him as a substitute. It turned out that 10,000 years ago, during the Great War between immortals and demons, Anne's revered master perished in battle. Witnessing her beloved master die before her eyes had planted a demon within her heart. To suppress this inner torment, she sought out Jack, a man bearing an uncanny resemblance to her master, and married him. After the wedding, she became utterly devoted to him, seeking solace in his presence. Little did she know this would lead Jack to a grave misunderstanding. He believed he was irreplaceable to her, and after becoming the top scholar in the imperial exams, he turned his back on her, determined to play the role of a heartless bastard. Little did he know Anne didn't care for his love at all. Simply seeing his face, identical to her master's, was enough. But Lily remained unaware of all this, still viewing Anne as her rival. To drive Anne away sooner, she deliberately complained her phoenix crown was ugly, insisting Jack kill Anne's sacred blackbird to adorn the crown with its feathers. The next morning, Annie received news of the blackbird's brutal death. Hearing this, he rushed to the main hall, only to see the feathers adorning Lily's head. Instantly, Annie's heart twisted in agony. This blackbird had been raised by his master and him together, and after his master's passing, it was one of Annie's only two sources of comfort. In a fit of rage, he snatched the phoenix crown and smashed it to pieces. This only enraged Jack, who immediately brandished his trump card to separate from Anne, gazing upon that face mirroring her master's, and relented once more, agreeing to grant Lily one request as an apology. Yet the princess pressed her advantage, demanding Anne personally sew the wedding attire for her nuptials that very night, and began stitching it thread by thread. But just then, when Cuxing arrived, he asked Anne, "Who could possibly deserve you sewing their wedding gown? Wearing this garment will surely bring misfortune," and replied that if someone wished to wear it, she couldn't stop them. The next day, Jack and Lily formally wed, yet no sooner had they paid homage to heaven and earth than the mother-in-law viciously ordered Anne to kneel before the princess, demanding she serve tea with the humility of a concubine. Seeing this, Jack rushed to defend his mother. When Anne still refused to kneel, the princess snatched Anne's hairpin from her hand, declaring she would destroy Anne if she didn't submit. Lily had already discovered this hairpin was Anne's most treasured possession. Sure enough, Anne's tone softened at the sight of it, for this hairpin was the sole memento left by her master. To protect it, she had no choice but to swallow her pride. Yet the moment Anne offered the tea, Lily suddenly coughed up a mouthful of blood. At that moment, none of them knew that an immortal paying respects to a mortal could suffer backlash. But Jack mistakenly believed and was reluctant to part with the hairpin, and thus used magic to sabotage Lily. Enraged, he snatched the hairpin and shattered it into two pieces. Witnessing this, Annie's heart ached so deeply she could scarcely breathe. Only then did she realize that yielding time and again only emboldened scum like Jack. She resolved immediately to eliminate Lily. Just then, the princess's robe suddenly burst into flames. Seeing this, Jack rushed forward to help extinguish them, but accidentally burned his own face. At this sight, Annie's expression instantly darkened. "He doesn't look like him anymore," she muttered. "He bears no resemblance to my master." Jack remained oblivious to her words. Annie continued, "How dare you ruin your face? It took me so long to find someone this similar. Now he looks nothing like my master. How could I ever mistake you for him? You've defiled my master's memory." With that, she prepared to cast a spell to eliminate them both.